Hello and welcome to this sports psychology screencast on individual differences. So we've looked at personality, now we're going to look at attitude. So the individual differences we're looking at today in the next couple of lessons is going to be attitudes. If we're looking at the specification, we need to know definition of attitude, factors affecting attitude formation, components of attitude, and methods of attitude change. So how we change our attitude. Okay, so that's kind of like the outlook of the next couple of lessons. This screencast is going to focus on this first part here, the definition, factors affecting attitude formation, so how our attitudes are formed, and then the components of attitude. So to begin with, the definition of attitude. Attitude are unstable beliefs, feelings, actions towards an attitude object. That is your definition of attitude. Okay, so if you look at this first part, unstable beliefs, unstable, if we think back to personality and personality types, unstable is unpredictable. Unpredictable is changing. Okay, so our attitudes can change. Now, if you look back at the specification, one of the things we need to look at is how we actually change our attitudes. So, unstable beliefs, because they can change, feelings, actions towards an attitude object. An attitude object is basically attitudes are normally directed towards a particular situation. So an attitude object is simply your attitude towards swimming or your attitude towards a fitness class. It's just your attitude towards something, and it could be anything. Okay. So definition of attitude: unstable beliefs, feelings, actions towards an attitude object. First of all, so how are our attitudes formed, or how do we form our attitude? So first of all, we need to look at this thing here, so socialization. Now, an example of this, or socialization, it'd be friends playing a sport may influence you to play a particular sport. So that is a way our attitude is formed. For example, if all of your friends play netball, then you're more likely potentially to play netball. So it's sort of your peers and your friends. Okay, if we look back to past experiences, so for example, a negative experience in a PE lesson may discourage you from playing sport. Contrary to that, if you have a really positive experience in a PE lesson, you may actually have a fantastic lifelong experience within sport. So past experiences can form our attitudes to certain situations. And then we have religious beliefs. Okay, so if we look at religious beliefs, Muslim women are not allowed to show skin in public places. So, for example, something like a swimming pool. Okay, it'd be really difficult for a Muslim woman to go swimming in public swimming pool while showing skin. So that may form an attitude towards sport within itself. So, media, if we look at this, so newspaper articles kind of celebrating the benefits of exercise could lead to a positive attitude that some may have towards exercise. Again, on the flip side to this, at the moment there's quite a lot of stuff in the newspaper with regards to head injuries in sport, or heading the football, and dementia in sport. And there's been a Jack Charlton documentary on dementia. And it's also like heading football, and rugby players are suing the RFU with regards to dementia at such an early age due to so many head injuries. So that might actually put you off playing sport. So that might form your attitude to actually think, you know what, I don't want to be playing any sport because of the serious consequences that may occur from that. And then finally, significant others or our role models could also be part of the way we form our attitude. So parents who take part in physical activity could encourage their children to do so as well. Or if your parents take part in a particular sport, you may well find yourself playing that sport as well. So that's the formation of attitude there. So make sure you get those down. Please have yourself some key questions to give you the answers: socialization, past experiences, religious beliefs, media, and significant others, and role models. So definition of attitude, formation of attitude. Now we're going to be coming on to the components of attitude. So components of attitude, if this is how our attitudes are formed, what we've just gone through. Once it is formed, there are three underpinning components that really underpin, as I said, our attitude. Okay, so there's a model, and this states that attitudes are formed through influences of three elements. Okay, And these three elements are depicted in this kind of triangular or triadic model. Okay, so we have got the terms that are suggested are cognitive, affective, and behavioural. So this model has three elements: cognitive, affective, and behavioural. Now we actually need to know kind of more with regards to these three key terms here. So first of all, cognitive is all to do with our beliefs towards an attitude object. Okay, so our beliefs are formed through our past experiences and by what we have learned from others. Many of our beliefs are learned from our parents and peers, people who are significant others to us. So we have cognitive component of attitude, which is all to do with our beliefs towards an attitude object. E.g., running is good for my health. Okay, and we're going to use this running example throughout these three kind of elements of this model. So running is good for my health. That is my belief. So that might make you run more. We've got affective. So affective is all to do with our emotions and feelings towards an attitude object, e.g., I enjoy running. So if we think of our emotional reactions to an attitude object, whether we like or dislike it also depends on past experience. If we have previously experienced satisfaction, enjoyment of doing something, then if we find ourselves in a similar situation, we're more likely to look forward to liking the experience. So affective is also to do with emotions, feelings towards an attitude object. For example, I enjoy running. And finally, behavioural is all to do with our actions towards an attitude object, e.g., I go running 3 times a week. So our behaviour isn't always consistent with our attitude. For instance, we may believe that exercise is good for us and may enjoy participating, but we may not actually exercise that much. We are, however, more likely to behave in a way that reveals our attitude. So if our beliefs are running is good for my health, if our emotions towards that attitude object are I enjoy running, we're more likely to action it and we're more likely to actually go running 3 times a week. So that is the components of attitude there. And they won't ask you this directly in the exam. However, if you want to kind of get this down, it shows just fantastic knowledge of the components of attitude. So if all three components of attitude agree, this is known as positive consonants. Okay, so that's really good. If you could just put that onto the end of an exam question, that would be fantastic. So there are your corner notes for today. Please make sure you have all this information down. Get the triangle down. Draw this, questions, everything you can. Okay, thank you.